A while back, Kim Kardashian did an in-home interview with Vogue, and there was just a glimpse of her bathroom during the interview. Viewers noticed her seemingly flat, sinkless sink, and it set the internet on fire.
But come on, those sinks are next level. Where does the water even go?
There was so much buzz about her sink, she took to the socials to show everyone that it did in fact work.
It does actually like slightly slope down that you can kind of see. And there's a slit for the water.
So now we know the sink works, but inquiring minds want to know, how the heck was it made? She also mentioned that it cost over $30,000. So in this video, I'm going to try to build a replica of Kim Kardashian's viral sink and see if it actually justifies a $30,000 price tag. Oh, that's so cool. All right, day one. And this is a project I've been wanting to do for a really long time, but honestly, the flat sink thing was just so impractical, I didn't want to do it for my own home. But recently, a fan who's a home builder was asking for help doing concrete sinks for an Airbnb that he's building nearby, and it seemed like a perfect fit for this project. So today, we're gonna go meet him out at Fishstone Concrete in the Chicago burbs, and hopefully build this sink in 3 days. Yeah, good to see you. How you been?
Doing well, doing well.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Did you bring the dog?
I did.
Yes.
Hi, bud. I know, it's exciting. Come on. We got all the supervisors here today with Tex.
12 seconds later.
Yeah. Tex already made himself at home right here. I did walk him this morning, but you know. Just to give you guys a little preview, we got Tom Fisher, owner of Fishstone. We got Chris Grunwald over here, who's been watching the channel and called me about making some sinks. Basically told him, if you make the exact sink I want to make, then you can come and make it with me.
A nice guy.
He said that sounded fun, so let's hope it is. This is basically the system we're going to be using to make that gradually sloped sink, right?
Correct.
So what do we got here?
So this is stretch form fabric. It's a stretchable fabric that has a waterproof membrane on there.
What I've seen this before, it's like they stretch a fabric over something and then you make like a fiberglass mold. I haven't seen them pour directly onto a fabric, so that's pretty cool. So we might have given up the whole secret, but not really, because you'll notice on this one, the sink is really high. This would not look like an invisible drain. You notice there's flex when we put the concrete on there. Getting that flex right, there's gonna be some skill and maybe a little bit of luck. Make sure that we can get enough of a slope when we're using a tiny, like 3/4 inch high piece of wood underneath this to make it. All right, so we got a plan?
Yep.
Let's build the form.
Let's get to it.
Now, when I said we had a plan there, I think there might have been some YouTuber enthusiasm going on, because we still weren't sure if the flex fabric could be pulled taut enough to create that super low profile drain without flexing so much that it just became flat under the weight of the concrete. But we decided to put that question to the side for a moment and just get going, get our hands in there, and cut out the melamine pieces for the rest of the form. However, things almost went from bad to worse when Chris was cutting the base of the form. You all right? Just want to jump in here real quick and explain what happened. Chris is a professional contractor with lots of experience using power tools, but most of us use battery powered tools, and he hadn't used the corded saw in ages. He got distracted focusing on keeping the cord out of the way and took his hand off the tool. It's a good reminder that even if you have a lot of experience, you got to pay attention and keep your mind in the game when you're using dangerous power tools. A big thanks to Chris too for letting us share his mistakes so others can learn from it. Okay, since thankfully everyone still has 10 fingers, it's time to figure out how the heck we're gonna make the mold for this crazy invisible sink. So after much deliberation, we decided our best chance was to use clay and sculpt the inverse shape of each basin and then cover that clay with the stretch fabric. Now the trick would be sculpting the clay in an even and gradually increasing slope so that it ended up pulling off the invisible look that we wanted. So we called in an expert. Tom's wife, Carrie, is a sculptor here in Chicago. She's done some really cool stuff around the city. Working with this clay was challenging, but a lot of fun. You heat it up and soften it to make it workable, and then we used whatever tools we had on hand to try to shape it into a symmetrical and gradually increasing slope circle around the center of the drain. This is starting to seem like it's gonna work. We're gonna put the fabric over that. Pretty excited to see how it comes out. With that many staples, it's not going anywhere. It's a lot cleaner if you're doing like some ideas. Okay. When I make concrete sinks, I always get a lot of questions about the drain and how do you make the drain hole. This is a drain kit made for very small slot drains. Tom, you want to
Sure, absolutely.
show us what it's about?
What we're going to do is we're going to drill some pilot holes. It creates some holes for pins that we can then attach the slot drain fitting, which then has another fitting on there. And then we take a couple PVC fittings, fit over that. That's what's going to hook up to a standard drain faucet.
It's definitely a little more refined than what I've used before.
And now it's time for another episode of Caulk Talk, which is the same as every episode of Caulk Talk. I apply a layer of paste wax to the milling, lay down a generous layer of 100% silicone caulk, run a metal fondant ball tool over all the caulk lines. Metal fondant ball tool pushes excess caulk to the sides, leaves a clean line over the seam, and the layer of paste wax makes it easy to peel the excess caulk away. Once it cures, leave it a perfect caulk line. And that's it for this episode of Caulk Talk.
And this is not really part of this video, but Chris is making a second sink here. And I wanted to show this because he brought in some black melamine to make the form, and the black melamine, it looks super, super cool. I think I might have to find some of this for some of my future builds. All right, we are back. Day 2. We're gonna just put a pinch of this yellow oxide pigment, which is kind of like a brownish yellow, to just give it a slightly off-white color. It's gonna match the rest of the stuff in Chris's bathroom.
To get a perfectly smooth surface, we're spraying on the face coat first and then using a brush to pop any air bubbles in the concrete that might be trapped against the form. While waiting for the face coat to firm up a bit, we added a back form for the vertical apron, which will make it much easier to do the backer coat on this vertical surface.
I'm mixing up here. Chris is gonna spray his face coat. This is actually his first time he's learning today, which is super cool to get someone in the concrete community. While we're doing that, Tom's gonna go mix up the backer coat with glass fibers that we're gonna put into our sink.
Everything is filled in. We got our nice little volcanoes built up around the sinks. Now it's just a waiting game. Very excited to see how this one comes out.
We're about to head back out to Fishstone for some concrete and, hold on. Hello? Hello?
We have been trying to reach you about your car's warranty.
Do you hate spam calls and scammer emails? Well, then you need to listen to this, because there's an easy way to stop them with today's sponsor, Incogni. But before I tell you how to stop spam, you need to understand why you get it in the first place. Data brokers. You see, there are hundreds of these companies out there that scrape the internet for your personally identifying information, compile it, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Now, unfortunately, if you shop online, use social media, do most of the things that we all do, it's almost impossible to stop data brokers from finding your personal information. This includes your name, address, email, financial information, political affiliation, account passwords, and this one really shocked me. There are even ways they can legally sell your social security number. What's worse, these companies aren't that discerning about who they'll sell to. Advertising firms, big tech, and even scammers who can do some really nasty stuff with your personal information. Now, the one glimmer of hope is that these data brokers are required to remove your information from their lists if you request they do so. The problem is there are hundreds of these companies, and as you might guess, they don't make the removal request process easy. This is where Incogni comes in. After a simple sign-up process, you give them permission to act on your behalf, and they automate the entire process of requesting your data be removed from all these data brokers. I signed up for Incogni 5 days ago, and just checking my Incogni dashboard now, I can see they've sent 123 different data broker requests and have already completed the removal process with 78 of them. Incogni also gives me an estimate of how much time I've saved versus trying to do all this on my own. currently over 58 hours and counting. As for the IRL effect, since signing up, I've noticed a dramatic decrease in spam calls. I used to get 4 or 5 daily, and over the last couple days, none. And in fact, that spam call you saw a minute ago, it was fake because I didn't have any real ones to record. Incogni also provides protection against identity theft and other scams. So if you want to keep your personal information away from spammers and scammers, head to incogni.com/Medustrial or follow the link in the description. Bonus, when you use the code Medustrial, you'll get 60% off an annual plan. Thanks to Incogni for protecting my personal information and sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. It's 3 days later now, and we are on the road heading back out to Crystal Lake. And it is Concrete Christmas Day. We're getting to demold everything. I'm super excited to see how this all turns out. Feel ready? All right, so these are looking pretty good on the underside. Next up here, we're gonna use the form as a guide. Just grind down the side there, grind the top here so we get a nice clean edge, and then we can take it out of the form. While we're moving these inside, just want to take a second and remind you guys to go check out channel sponsor ARIAT Work. Today I'm rocking this new aviator style jacket. I also got the stylish composite toe shoes because, well, we're moving concrete chunks around. So check out the links in the description for these and all my ARIAT Work favorites. Now let's get on concrete Christmas time. Ooh, it's looking pretty nice. Like a sandy color like you were going for there. I can't see it. Oh yeah, baby. All right. I think that's gonna work. From right here, it looks almost like there's no drain, but it's gonna be enough that'll flow, I think. We're happy. Next step, we're gonna do a little acid.
But someone was looking for you.
Acid wash, that is.
She felt there was no time to be lost. She was shrinking rapidly. So she set to work at once.
All right, now we're going to show you how you make a hole for a faucet in a concrete countertop. This would be the same thing you would do for granite or marble. Lots of people ask about this. Tom's going to man the drill attachment to the angle grinder. You got this donut to kind of keep the water in. We showed that process on Chris's other sink just because, well, it's a lot simpler. He's going to wait till he has the actual faucets in hand on the other sink just to make sure it lines up straight. So he'll be doing that exact same process on his own. For the sealer, we're using Fishstone's U-Seal, which is my personal go-to for concrete. Super durable. We just roll it on with a roller, keep it wet, and yeah, pretty simple to get it going. All right, so we got the first coat of sealer on. We're gonna do a couple more, but the next time I'm gonna see you guys is gonna be up in Wisconsin at Chris's Airbnb. It's a few months later, and before we head out to the Airbnb to check out the finished sink, I wanna talk about that $30,000 price and one other thing. So first, I gotta give some credit where credit's due. The way I originally found out about the sink was another fan who'd reached out to me, and they were in Florida. I think it was back in 2021 when I was in the midst of redoing this whole building. So I really didn't have time to take on projects for anyone else. So I had to turn down that project. But to that viewer, if you're watching, I just want to thank you. You were the one I got the idea from. It worked out like it did because Chris's Airbnb is local. So now let's talk about that $30,000 price tag. Did Kim K get ripped off, or is it worth it? Well, you guys know I did a video on $10,000 concrete countertops a while back, and I certainly believe that concrete artisan work is worth quite a bit of money. It's very difficult labor. It takes skill and time to pull off properly. So even though there were only about $500 in materials that went into making the sink, yes, it's gonna be worth quite a bit more than that. $30,000 though, honestly, that feels like a bit much. Now she mentioned something about why it costs so much.
8 versions of this prototype sink was made.
Now we did this in 3 days on the first try, and I'll let you guys be the judge, but I think we nailed the look pretty spot on. So should she have paid for the labor to do this 8 times to make 8 prototypes? I don't know. If I were to make something like this for a client installed, it would probably run somewhere in the $15,000 to $20,000 range. So not a complete ripoff, but I do think that price was pretty high. I know you guys will have thoughts, so leave a comment and let me know. Without further ado, let's head out to the Airbnb and check out the sink.
Down your road and past your gates, keep your eyes on the horizon. I was looking to belong when I'd already found my home.
Wow. Okay, this is better in person than in the photos I saw. It's huge, open, and then just boom, open to the wide view of the forest, the lake beyond that. Really, really cool. So before we reveal the sink, I want to do a mini tour of this Airbnb. This is the upper deck here. There's a really cool view here of the forest. They're actually working still on the exterior landscaping. You're gonna have a path that leads from the house all the way down to the lake. Then there'll be another path on the side that leads to the cedar sauna. We're gonna check the downstairs area out next. Pit stop on the way down. You got 2 bedrooms here. It looks like both like really good size with kings. Then we got this bathroom here, which has got this cool little, I guess this is like a sitting tub. This is the tiniest bathtub I've seen, but super cool. And over here is the second sink. I actually hadn't seen this one. Chris actually went and made this on his own, and it came out super cool for his first solo sink. Any of you guys are thinking of trying some GFRC to make some really cool sinks, countertops, whatever, I highly recommend it because, well, here's proof that with a little determination, you can get some super high-end results. Now moving downstairs. Oh, this is such a cool hangout spot. So it looks like coming down, he's got like a little gym. They've got these like full arcade machine. Over here, there's a second like bar with a big TV, little pub table, a cool little hangout area. I want to come back with like a bunch of friends for like a weekend at this place. This is so cool. Then over here, he's got full game room, foosball, pool table. I don't know, see if I TV anywhere.
Mike, look up.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see you, Chris. Got a remote. That is pretty cool. We're now out on the lower deck and there's this big cedar hot tub here. Really beautiful. Definitely gonna hit that up later. Now let's head on upstairs, and I think that should be where the Kim Kardashian sink is. Here you got the loft area. They've set it up like an office, which is really cool because I'm working remotely today, so I'll be doing a little editing right there, editing this video. And across the hall here, you've got another bedroom, which is also really cool, kind of like a Japanese low profile room. Before we check out the Kim K sink in the last bathroom, I want to give a quick shout out to Chris, who took a chance on this, put it in his place. I still don't know if it's gonna work, but hopefully it will. The Airbnb as a whole is beautiful. And if any of you are interested in booking it for a stay with your friends, it sleeps up to 12. It's only an hour and 25 minutes from Chicago, about an hour and 15 from Milwaukee, so perfect for a weekend getaway. I'll leave links in the description so you can go and book it for yourself. Highly recommend it. And now, let's see what that Kim K sink looks like. Oh, that's so cool. Loving this. This actually exceeds my expectations. Definitely looks invisible, so very, very cool. But not only does it look cool, let's do a test here. I've not done this yet. Chris said it works, but you know, we got to test for ourselves. Full blast. Would you look at that? And what happens if I wash my hands? I'd say that's success. All right, guys, while we're rolling those beauty shots, I just want to thank you guys for checking out this video, checking out the channel. If you like this project, we got a bunch more cool high-end design and build projects on the way, so make sure you sub and bell. Thanks again for watching. Love all of you. That's it for this time, and I'll see you guys next time.
Dex, what do you think? Victor, you gonna come? Tell me what you think. Is that all good? Dex, what do you think? Oh yeah, good stuff.